Hey everyone, welcome back to the Proof Deep YouTube channel. And today we're going to be doing an unboxing and taking a look at the PeakDo PowerLink version 2. There is a version 1 and I decided since I don't have one, why not get the version 2. So we're going to be checking that out today. So I have had a bit of an issue with my Starlink. So while it's nothing necessarily directed towards the Starlink, one issue that I have had is that it doesn't have power on board. But while I do have a nice setup with a good power station and a solar setup, that can get a bit difficult to lug around. Don't get me wrong, it's perfect at the campsite, it's perfect for tailgating and when I'm just hanging around the area. And I actually wanted to turn it into an emergency option for myself. So if I did need to power the onboard battery that's on the Starlink or connect to the Starlink, so I could actually do that with my setup on the Starlink with a backup battery. So if I do run into a blackout, power outage, whatever it may be, I want to make sure that the power that I'm getting out of my power station isn't just being sucked out by the Starlink. I'm able to actually store that power, have that reserve, and use it, so that way I can charge my power station with my solar panel or wherever I can get external power, so that way I can actually have this on the go. I wanted the Starlink to be able to be grab and go, and I've looked for a lot of options online. So I have actually looked at different types of power banks, and most of them don't meet the requirements that the Starlink needs. While they do claim to, the PowerLink has specific demands, so it is trying to connect to a satellite, so it is going to jump between different type of power outputs, so it does have a demand that it needs. And while a lot of those options are kind of a little finicky and a little risky to do, I don't want to damage my power and I don't want to damage my Starlink, so I want to make sure I'm getting adequate power. So that's where PeakDo comes in. So PeakDo is actually a dedicated power bank for the Starlink that actually mounts directly onto it. So I don't know about you guys, but lugging around a power station with the solar panel and everything can get a bit cumbersome and a bit heavy. And the worst part of it, just to top it off, is dealing with huge cables. And if you're running a 50-foot cable, 30-foot cable, it's an emergency. You want to get power on the go, maybe something cut out. You go run over to your cables and you need to wire through all this, undo knots, extend it across the room. Hopefully you have enough room where you are. You're getting dirt all over the setup. You know, you don't have much room. So when you are out camping, you want something sleek, quick on the go. While you may need this for an emergency setup or you want to get power right away, at least you know you have your cables set up, you have it put away in your case. And that's actually another thing I wanted to mention. I eventually want to make a video on a nice case, an on-the-go case for us to use. So I wanted to eliminate the cables, I wanted to eliminate the power station and actually move that over to my backup setup. So if I did need to power the battery on here, I would be able to bring that out while it's charging on solar. I can go ahead and use that and charge the battery that's on board. So we're going to look at that today, and we're going to be looking at the PeakDo PowerLink 2. This is the version 2, so this is going to be the one that just came out. So I needed an option for my truck so I'd be able to mount and get it to go. And actually, you know, it isn't always where you are looking for something specific. Maybe you have an idea and a company actually already created and has it. That's where PeakDo comes in. So I wanted an option for the Starlink to be able to go into the fitment here and just grab on the go, kind of like a tablet style or whatever it may be. That's what I really needed. This company is actually the one that did it. Without further ado, guys, let's get into it and let's check out the PeakDo. All right, so looking at the PeakDo Power, let me get you guys a nice spec check there. So that's the front of the PeakDo, and here are some of the specs. Hopefully that shows up there. If it doesn't, I will bring that up here for you guys. And let's unbox this because I'm super excited to check this out with you guys. I can't wait to just have the Starlink. And that was something that I was frustrated with. When I had the Starlink, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, internet on the go. And then I had to deal with all the cables. I had to deal with this you know, small brick of a power setup, and then, you know, I needed to have it connected to a wall or connected to the vehicle. This cable management, it triggers all my OCD and accelerates it to 10. So dealing with this is just frustrating as it is. So I wanted to actually get rid of this whole mess and find something that was sleek and test it out for you guys. Dude, let's actually get into it and check it out. So upon opening it, we'll see we do have a foam cover, and I did the liberty of removing all the plastic ahead of time so there wasn't all that noise for you guys. So we are looking at this here. PeakDo sends us most likely a setup on how to get it going. Let's get this opened up here. And it comes with that sleek DC power, so you can go ahead and get that connected. And we'll be doing a setup here to show you guys how it runs and how to get it set up. So put that there on the side for now. And this is something that I was super excited about with this new version. This comes with a magnet charger, so you can actually get that barrel cable. If you wanted to get a different extension size for that DC cable, so you don't want to run a 30-50 foot cable, you can get something short enough that's inside of the vehicle. So my whole plan behind this was to be able to mount it to the moonroof or sunroof of my 4Runner and be able to mob off trail, maybe stop at our campsite, run everything, make sure I got satellite connection in case we get into any emergencies or anything happens. That was something I wanted, and I don't want a bunch of cables running down. I've seen some setups on the Starlink where there's cables running down. If I did need to have a cable, I wanted it to be temporary, so it would be something like a USB-C, or now they have actually this magnet cable, so we'll take a look at that in a second. So actually looking at this here, you'll see that they did some work on the thermal efficiency here. So they wanted to improve cooling. They might have some issues with cooling. I mean, anything that's battery operated is going to have issues with cooling. The fact that they're actually listening to their customer base and doing something about the cooling is super awesome. I'm sure there's going to be a plate in the rear that is going to actually help be able to pull some of that heat out. So that's what that aluminum finish is on the back. And let's get that here. Oh, and it actually isn't as heavy as I thought it would be. I have some power banks that are actually less capacity and a bit heavier. Go ahead and take a look at that there. That's really nice. Great finish on everything. And as for the texture, it looks like it actually has a texture like the Starlink does. So that's cool. It looks like it fits right in there. And you'll see it has the barrel port there. And a little bit about the barrel port, you'll see that it actually has the fins there. So that way it protects himself from dust, any light water or rain. You don't want to be submerging this in water, have it in a heavy rainstorm. Get it out to a nice area as soon as you can. Make sure that you aren't exposing it to too much sand, too much dust. It can only take so much. You'll see here it has another DC port to be able to power, and a USB-C, because guess what, they were listening to the customers. And now we'll take a look at that magnet section I was talking about. And I love the fact that they use these what looks to be silicone covers on it. That's actually really great. I'm glad they have that to help protect as much as possible, and they do it on the magnet too. So my idea behind this setup was actually that I wanted to be able to mount this up on the 4Runner so everything looks sleek and clean. I don't want cables hanging down. Give anybody idea if I stop in at a cafe or a restaurant that, hey, he's got a Starlink, there's obviously cables hanging out of the top. So what I wanted to do, if we were on a trail and I needed to charge it, the ideal setup would have been to, and luckily I was able to pull this out of the cable mess, but you would plug this in here like that. We would have this mounted up to the top of the 4Runner here. I would be driving, we'd take a stop, and I'd get it in there like that, and it would be mounted to the stop. We'd be off-roading and everything would be nice and sleek. And finally, when I want to close my sunshade over at the top and hide my setup, I would just go ahead and pull this off, close this, and boom, there you go. All right, so if you guys take a look at that here, you're gonna wanna go ahead and follow that shape. So you kinda aim it in there, it clicks on like that. Go ahead and you're just mobbing. So you got that cable. It's actually really strong in there. I'm giving it a good amount of tug here, and you'll see that it's holding well. And it doesn't have the fins that go in there, but it's a pretty good seal, if you guys can see that there. Pretty solid seal. So when you are done, you're ready to close that sunshade, you just pull that off right there, close it up, and you're good to go. There's that piece. We'll go ahead and put this here on the side for now. Looks really good. So we'll see, this is what comes in there. You got your two main cables. Now let's get it all together. So with the Starlink, you'll see you have this original piece here. And we'll actually plug in that DC barrel connector for now. Get that in there. So we got that plugged in there. You'll see. Before you pop it in, actually, since you do have some room here, go ahead and get that cable in there. So we'll get that in there like that. Pop it in, make sure it has a good seal, and basically just go ahead and run it forward and it'll pop in. Yep, and that's a solid setup right there. Look at that. That looks really good. It isn't too heavy, so that's good too. It does add a little bit of thickness here. Isn't anything too drastic. I'll show you guys there. Like that. That looks really good. So now it is officially grab and go. That's what I wanted, you guys. That's what I'm talking about. This is a company that is listening to its customer base. And not only that, but they're actually solving a huge problem that we're all dealing with. They're getting us onboard power. And while I'm sure Starlink is probably working on something, we don't have it now. We're gonna have to make do with what we have. Shout out to PeakDo, make do. I don't know, something there. I was trying to figure out where that name came from. PeakDo, if you want to reach out, let me know. So you see we have all the specs here. 27,500 milliamp battery, 99 watts. Multiple outputs. I'll let you guys take a look at that so you guys could see that. could geek out and check that out later. Some of the main points is that it does have pass-through charging, so you are able to connect this, power up the battery, and still run your Starlink. So that's a huge plus for me. USB-C adaptability, DC if you want to run it directly, and you have that magnet if you are off-roading, you want to go ahead and connect that and then pop it right off for efficiency and ease. So I like that a lot. So now let's get this started up and see what we got. So we're gonna go ahead and just hit this green button here. Sometimes you guys will get these and they'll either come with a full battery, not full, or they might come off where you need to actually connect power to it to get it started. That's usually a sleep mode. I like when companies do that because that means that they're worried about the product. So if the product is sitting in a warehouse shelf, it's not going to drain its battery down, which is never good for a battery. They're actually putting it in a sleep mode. So this one is actually shipped in with full battery, so that's perfectly fine with me. I like that. So we got this started up here. We'll see that screen. We're going through this together for the first time, you guys, so let's see what we got. I think you might do a double click. Typically, there we go. One thing I did notice with the Starlink is that it has a blue light under the bottom. I'll show that over here to you guys. Yeah, so when it does have that blue indicator on, that means that your Starlink's good to go and ready. And I don't have any weird noises coming from it. I know sometimes you might get products that have kind of like a hissing sound or anything. That's usually not a good sign. So everything's quiet and functioning good. It does give us our indicator here. And you are able to see what it's pulling. So 29.6 watts is what it needs. I know it does have Bluetooth adaptability. So we'll take a look at the app later. And it'll go into sleep mode. So if you go ahead and just hit that here. So that's kind of what we get there on the screen. If you guys see that, that actually looks really cool. Great indicator. And it looks like it has kind of a mode where it goes on and off, so it doesn't disturb you with a really bright light that's on all the time. It looks like it goes into kind of like a sleeper mode. So when you do that, have that up there, you don't have an LCD screen flashing, because you know, if you are on trails or you're outdoors, lights can get pretty annoying when they are really bright. So having the least amount of light as possible, enjoying the campfire, whatever it may be, is nice. So it does have kind of like that green sleeper mode, letting you know it's on. But to turn it off, it looks like we'll do the same. We'll do a double click here, maybe hold it down, and it does like a small flash, and it'll let you know where everything's at, and it'll shut off that Starlink light. You guys, I'm so excited about this. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted something that was sleek, quick, grab, go, throw in the truck, and let's get out of here. We'll put this on the side for now, and we will see these suction cups when we get there. Let's crack this open. Okay, got an Allen wrench here, and we got the suction cups. Let's go. Nice. This looks sleek. I'm kind of taking a gamble here also, you guys. I don't know if this is actually going to fit on the 4Runner, so we're going to give this a shot and see how it goes. Alright, put these down here. I'm not really sure exactly what oh, I guess if these actually get a little loose, here you can see that you'll be able to tighten those up with the Allen wrench. So usually you're going to want this side up, so get the best connection possible. I did want to show you guys this really quick because I just felt this. It has like a nice rubber finish so that there isn't any slipping. It'd be nice to have it on the corners there too. I like that a lot. Pop that in there like that. Pop that in there. And for the suction cups, it looks like you're just going to pop down on those tabs there. We'll see if it actually holds suction to this. That would be cool, but if not, that's perfectly fine too. Ideally, that's how it operates. You would just push those down there, get your finger in there, lock that down, push that down, one finger, boom, and you hit the start button and you're ready to go. Look at that, you guys. That is really nice right there. This is cool. It looks like it does have a room to tighten here. And these top threads, I think that's actually for a magnet. So if you did want to mount a magnet to the top of it, I think you can do that as well. Or maybe you wanted to switch these around. It looks like it has a couple different options. And if you needed to actually position it, it does have these, let's actually get this off here so I could show you guys in better detail. If you guys see here, it actually has an area to loosen it. So if you did want to loosen it up and reposition these in a different way, you can do that. It looks like this might be the slickest way to do it. That's actually really cool right there. So I like that. You guys could angle it in a different way and whatever you need, and tighten up the ends here on the Allen wrench. There you go. Another thing I actually wanted to go over was eventually I plan to get a 1/4-inch tripod for this. So I'd be able to actually thread that in there, and hopefully that tripod also has a battery. So that way when we get it threaded in, we'll have a backup battery that can do pass-through charging onto this one. And then we have who knows how many hours of battery. But this one's supposed to be rated at 5 to 6 hours. I've seen some previous video reviews on the original one. They actually under-promised and over-delivered. They were saying 4 hours, some people were getting 5 and a little bit more. So really, I didn't really want to bring that up because it really does depend on the demand and where you are. So that is kind of a rough estimate that they're giving there, but I appreciate that they give it anyways. Like I mentioned, the pass-through charging is super important, something that I really wanted. And USB-C adaptability, the magnet, and the capacity is great because you can also take this through an airport. So if you wanted to stuff this in one of your bags where you leave your laptop or a backpack, it isn't too big and you can take it with you. And according to Starlink, you actually get 2 months of coverage worldwide if you wanted to use it. So the main purpose behind this was I wanted to set up for when I was off-roading, going camping with buddies, or maybe I was tailgating or going somewhere. I wanted a lighter weight option. And if I was running my power station, I didn't want the Starlink to just suck juice out of it while I'm using it. And if I did need a power, I can do pass-through powering. But once it's mounted up, I didn't want to remove it as much as I did. And in the future, I do plan to get a roof rack and things like that. But for now, I wanted everything inside, running cool if I have the AC running, and have a setup for emergencies. Or maybe I just wanted to grab it and take it with me, put it in a backpack and set it up next to a coffee table outside or in a park somewhere. But yeah, this actually gives you the freedom to roam around and do what you guys need to do. All right, so what do you guys say we put it to the test and take it on its intended use? Grab and go. So let's go ahead, grab it, and we'll go over to the 4Runner, mount it up, and see how everything sits. All right, everybody, we are in the 4Runner. Here is the setup, how it comes. So as you can see, we got all the suction cups mounted on there, so everything's ready to go. And I'm gonna just walk you through how to mount it up. So we're gonna go ahead and open the visor here. And I apologize if it is dirty. This is my daily / trail truck when I'm going out with the buddies. And we are gonna put this bigger section out in the backside since I did measure this out a bit. Didn't get it exact, but I'm gonna walk through how we set it up here. Kind of center it as much as we can. Get a little more driver side because we do have some more room over here. That way I can control it. So you just stick that on there. And I put some pressure on these here. So it does have like a finger pressure there. Disconnect this one. Some pressure on that one. And undo this one. Go ahead and put some pressure on that with your finger. Undo this one, same thing, some pressure so this doesn't fall on my face. And there we go, you guys, check that out. We're mounted up. I still have enough room for the battery to go ahead and press that button there. And if I do lean over, which we would be at a stop if I would be checking this anyways, I can see that we're at 96 power. We'll get that on there. So in order to turn around, it looks like it needs you to hold the button. So it does like a double flash and boom, there we are connected. The blue light from the Starlink is on and we're mounted up. And if I could show you guys really quick, actually, this is what I was talking about with the magnet. So let's say I do have it plugged into my USB outlet. Go ahead and just pop that in there like that. And then it'll charge and I'll have the cable running down here. And when I need to get rid of it, I can just pop this off, close this up, and then we'll get everything shut here. So it looks like it's just gonna fit barely. So yeah, it's a bit snug, but it fits and it's in there sleek. So got that fitted in there. Takes about 2 hands. I don't want to damage anything, so I'm giving it a bit of a pull and it'll give it support if you're on a trail. Yeah, as long as you have that top portion mounted up there, you should be good. And if you do need to get it out and you are worried about leaving it in the truck, well, as you guys know, pop these off here, give it a little assistance here, and we get it down that way. And we'll do more in-depth reviews, take it on the trails and see how it does. Shut this. Hey everyone, we're back in the studio and it was a success. The PeakDo worked perfectly with the Starlink and we were able to mount that up on the roof. And as you guys saw, if it just barely fit, so I'm glad it actually fit. Luckily it did slide right over, so enough to give it some protection and security where it needs to be and hold it if we are hitting any crazy trails. I can't wait to get out there and use this on the trail. I'm going to be doing some coverage on it, and I'm also going to make sure we revisit this to see how it does out in RL and make sure that it's performing how we want it to. But you guys, thank you so much for watching again. I appreciate all you subscribers. This is what I do it for, to try to make your guys' life a little easier and find a product that works for you. So we officially were able to get the Starlink Mini on the go. And here's the setup here. And these are easy to pop off if you actually need to, so we'll just get that off there like that. So as you guys can see, this is the Starlink on the go. And I also have some more cool stuff coming your guys' way, so stay tuned and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys, so get down there in the comment section and let's start some conversations and let's grow together as a community, because that's what I'm here for, you guys. So take care, appreciate everything.